Yes, he pushed me again.
Do you want to go higher?
Yes.
Do you want to go higher? Welcome to Fully Charged Live 2022.
Well, we're at Farnborough and it is the first day of the show and we're going to be some of the first people that are going round the show. I'm going to show exactly what's here.
So we're on EV News Daily and your channel?
EVNick.
Come with us, we're going to show you around the show. Doors aren't technically open yet. There's a lot of exhibitors here and maybe they have got people walking around who maybe are here early doors, but let's show you. This is the queue to get in. Come this way. Nick, come this way. We can get through this, this gap here. And we'll do the outside area first, do you think? And then we'll go inside and show Fully Charged Live indoors. Now, the outside is a little bit smaller than last year, but only because last year was, well, strange times we were living in, right?
Well, yeah, and also the gates officially don't open till 10 and we've already got a queue going right the way back. So if you haven't got tickets yet, you might want to go on the website, get them ready for Saturday and Sunday because the show is on for another 2 days.
And we can have a look at the Tesla stuff to begin with, because Tesla never here officially, are they?
No, they're always here as the owners. So the owners club has brought a couple of Teslas, including a Roadster. We've obviously got a Model Y, a Model X, and a Model S.
Now, I've not seen this original Roadster before, but a friend of mine, Mark, who lives about 5 minutes from my house, used an original Roadster as his daily driver until recently. And only just recently decided to maybe put it in the garage a little bit more because these things are selling for hundreds of thousands now.
They went down as low as £60,000 at one point, and a lot of people don't know. Everyone always thinks that Tesla copied the Lotus, and it is actually Elon went to Lotus. Can we buy the Elise chassis? And then realised it wasn't going to work and pretty much redesigned the entire chassis.
There's not too much left on that original, but these are great. And the Elon fans, the Tesla fans, the Owners Club. Last time we were here had a German Model Y, and of course now we can have, you know, the real thing. And actually, I can see what someone's done on this, which I think I would do as well if I had a Tesla. And my friend Rich has done this, which is because Tesla have never quite got the front plates right on any of their cars, and the back ones. It's always a bit.
Yeah, well, the problem is in California they don't have to have plates at the front, so they, you know, the sticker definitely works.
But I would do that. I would do that with the sticker. It looks nice, right? So come and check out the Tesla stand if you're coming along to this, because the fans are here at all the Fully Charged every year, and they'll be happy to show you around.
Have you seen the new Tesla, the new little mini Tesla? So the guy who actually built this is into robotic engineering, and he can fully control this. He's got a headset and walks around and talks on it. It's fascinating when you actually see it move.
Morning, Tommy. High five. Don't leave me hanging,
Martyn,
Tommy.
He's got the same colour hair as you.
Easy, Tiger. Right, let's move on. Let's have a look at what else we've got outside.
Just over there we have one of these stages. So we have several talks over the whole weekend.
Yeah.
If you are interested in certain subjects, maybe it might be heat pumps, maybe it might be solar. It's not just EVs here, it's everything. So if you want to hear some of the experts are on that stage. I'll be on Sunday on the main stage, which we'll go and see in a minute.
Yes.
But while we're here, we've got a extremely rare car that can't go above 88 miles an hour.
Now, the idea of turning classic cars electric fascinates me, because there's nothing wrong with having a classic car that runs on petrol. Like, we still ride horses, right? So in 10 or 20 years' time, what's wrong with having a weekend project in your garage? As long as we electrify the majority of our transport. But I also love the idea of turning classic cars electric. And electric classic cars have been at Fully Charged every year, and they do the most amazing things. Come and check out what they've got here. This looks so cool.
Well, the most amazing part about turning the car electric is, especially for classics, is the majority of classic cars are terrible cars to drive. They're unreliable, the engines don't work very well. So to convert it to a classic means that you've now got a car that you can use every day. And that car there, this car actually has a bit of a meaning for Mark, who's our cameraman today, and a couple of my friends, this is the Isetta. And we have a little joke, we have a little racing gig with all the electric car people that I know, and we race Isettas with overly souped engine. I always said that this is the one car that I want to buy and convert to electric.
So this has got a 17 kilowatt hour pack. It does 80 miles of range. That's not surprising because there's no weight to it at all. It's tiny. And it's a single gear with 1 foot driving. It's got single pedal driving.
Oh,
it's
wow.
amazing. Some new EVs haven't got that.
And
this
now,
is awesome.
If you're waiting for the IDBuzz, which we're going to see, believe it or not, in a minute, This looks like the coolest beach buggy I have ever seen. It looks absolutely amazing. Martyn, could we see you going around the yacht club in this?
Hey, enough. I know I live by the beach, but I don't go to a yacht club. But yeah, this would fit in pool. Yes, there's a few posers down in pool. This would fit in. So we have some of the big car brands. I think many of the big car brands are here.
I think nearly every car brand's here, apart from maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
There's one which is having a few problems with airbags that they've not turned up today. I wonder why.
So Ford, of course, have got the Mustang Mach-E, and as of when we're recording this, they've just started making the Ford F-150 Lightning at their Dearborn plant. But we don't get that, at least for a long time, if ever, I don't think. But for now, we'll make do with the Mustang Mach-E, which I think is a massively underrated EV. I think everyone that I know that's got one loves them, but they don't get enough attention.
They don't get enough attention, and in my personal opinion, this is one of the nicest looking electric cars on the road. It's got a lovely front, it's got a lovely side. The whole car is absolutely stunning, and in that colour, it's just, I mean, every single colour of the Ford Mustang Mach-E is absolutely amazing. We've also got a couple of plug-in hybrids here.
Don't worry about that. Well, there's a plug-in hybrid somewhere here.
Oh,
and what are we underneath now?
Hyundai now. So this is the Hyundai stand. We've obviously got the Ioniq 5 here. We've also got the Kona. We won't mention what that means in certain countries.
Now, look, I haven't got this charging cable at home. I could do with this. And my toddler would love this. What are you doing, Daddy? Plugging in the amazing cable.
That is, it's a little bit different.
I'd like to be able to buy one of those. So yeah, come along and have a look at, because I think the Kona is still a great car. I know the Ioniq 5 again gets all the attention, but I still think it's definitely worth having having a look at. The charge speed for most people is enough. And of course the Ioniq 5, we just heard 2023 model year. If you order one now, you will get one next year, so it will be the new model year, and it's got some improvements.
It's got some massive improvements. We've got on the top spec, they've got CCTV cameras, they've got panoramic sunroof, there's loads of extras. And if you haven't driven one of these yet, we're going to talk about that in a minute as we move further towards this end.
Now, the Chinese are coming. I know I drive an MG, but the Ora Cat tends, whenever I talk about it on the podcast or you see YouTube videos, it gets so much attention, and that's because of the price, of the value. Now, I also think because it looks pretty cool.
It's got the very sort of Porsche look lights to it to me, the early sort of Porsche classic lights at the front, and it's an interesting looking car. The price point. It's going to be interesting now because it's going to be cheaper than a lot of the French alternatives, the Renault Zoe, the Corsa, that kind of range. But what do we think it's going to sell like in the UK?
Should we have a look inside?
Yeah, that's.
I think this is. I think again, in terms of the price and what you're going to get with the big screen and some interesting interior, it's got the turning knob like the MG or the E-Niro. I think this is going to be a really interesting proposition.
It's also
there's still a standing start though, because no one's got one yet.
It's also amazingly comfortable in the back. The seats are gorgeous. They're really nice, really defined. I've never really seen it before. I've seen lots of pictures of it, but actually seeing it in the flesh and sitting in it, it is actually a really nice alternative to some of the main sort of French brands that we get on the cheaper sort of smaller hatchback side. This panoramic roof is beautiful as well.
Yeah, I think the software will be really interesting when we see how they do with that, because the versions that I've seen so far are still being, developed. It's not fully polished. We can't disguise the fact that we are at an airport, so there might be some noise.
Yeah, it's a bit ironic that we are at a car show and we're currently being covered in chemtrails while looking at electric cars.
What's over here? Oh, nothing. We've gone around the back of the stand. Okay, we'll work our way. Should we go have a look at the test drives?
Yeah, we can do. Over here we've got a full choice of catering. Now, the queues last year on Friday were absolutely mad. They've said that they've got extra catering this year. I think there's catering inside and outside. But if you are planning on eating here and you are not a fan of big queues, I might bring a picnic if I was you.
Well, there's the big picnic area over here with a very purple sponsor, and Fully Charged are saying, absolutely, if you can bring a picnic, you'll skip some queues, and it's going to be very busy. Do you reckon we can walk through here?
I reckon we can. I reckon we just walk past and do
it with confidence. Morning.
Just strut through.
Highlander. Good morning. We'll come back and find out about this in a minute. What's this?
Ooh.
What's Highlander Pod?
Keep do you want to come and explain your pod? Oh, he's the man in charge.
Turkey, what's the Highlander Pod?
So the Highlander Pod is our portable EV charging solution. It's a shipping container, as you can see. It's a 20-foot shipping container, but it's got 6 EV charging sockets.
And what's the capacity?
Capacity 22 kilowatts AC, 3-phase on each socket. So this one's a grid-connected version.
Yeah.
You can see there, 63 amp commando socket.
Okay, so when it's not charging all the EVs again, it's topping up and then discharging and charging and discharging.
Yeah. So I mean, it's designed mainly for charging, but we can connect it with solar and batteries. So there's 95% of the space in there is empty. So we can put batteries in there. We can have rapidly deployed solar, and you can actually have EV charging anywhere. We can drop this in anywhere, and if you've got a commando socket, you can drop this in and you can be charging in 5 minutes.
I love it. Thank you very much for your time. This looks really cool.
So that's where me and Martyn will be parking our cars later on tonight to get a full charge on here.
Free charge. Now, the test drive areas are just getting bigger and bigger at Fully Charged. And by the looks of it, this big purple sponsor are having a group huddle before everyone lets in. But if we walk past this and go to the test drive areas, I think it's one of the key things about electric vehicles, because it's the light bulb moment, isn't it? Well, I know it was for me and for my wife as well. She was like, I'm not sure, back at the original Zoe that we bought. And the minute she drove it, she's like, well, this makes sense. We're buying an EV.
It's the same for my wife. The first thing she said is, I'm not having an EV. It's going to be too complicated. I won't like the way it drives. As soon as she drove it, great thing. So pretty much all the cars here today are on for test drive. You can pretty much come over here, book a test drive, but I'd advise that you do it as early as possible. Some of them will allow you to pre-book on the website. Now this is obviously the Polestar 2.
They just do everything so well, don't they? It just looks nice. Everything looks gorgeous. It's very Scandi, but that's a very good thing if you ask me.
I also love the lovely clean look of this stand. It's just so clinically white.
Very Polestar, very Volvo. Absolutely love it. This is great. I'm still not sure about putting the battery pack size on the side of a car, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, this looks great. Come and try one of these. And if we head over here, we have all of the ones lined up that you can go and drive.
We've also obviously got Kia here. I mean, there's also another Tesla stand over here from obviously the owners. I think the owners are doing some test drives in the Tesla cars they've got.
Model Y, have you driven it yet?
No.
Okay, not been in the country very long, and I had one for a week, and it makes sense in every possible way. If you have a family and you want a Tesla, go and get a Model Y, because it just does everything. I had the long range for a week, and the Model Y. No, this is Tesla. This isn't the other stuff. This is actually Tesla
here. They've actually paid for a stand.
That's a thing. Tesla turned up at a thing.
Wow.
They have people to come to things. Who knew? Maybe they'll do more things. This is very cool.
They paid for marketing at a thing?
I'm very confused.
I'm more confused because one car company told me that they saw no value in this event, and yet Tesla have paid for a stand here. So if you're a manufacturer and you've not turned up to this event, you'd be quite embarrassed, wouldn't you?
Look, I just think the Model Y, as I was saying, long range. Do you still daily drive a Model 3?
I still daily drive a Model 3.
I plugged in at whatever it was, 19% state of charge. I went to the new Winchester V3 supercharger, and it just went, 200 kilowatts and above. It charges quickly, it fits everyone in, and the only thing that lets it down for me is the ride, and it's even stiffer than a Model 3. I don't know why for the UK, or maybe just coming out of Shanghai, which these ones are built not out of Germany yet. Just a really stiff ride, very, very tight, and actually if you're driving this around town all day at 30 miles an hour, doing errands, doing chores, it may be too hard.
But isn't this perfect for a UK market? We all have dogs over here. We're a big dog fan. A hatchback. There's no need now to get your Model S and cut it in half to turn it into an estate car. You can buy this off the shelf, and it's the boot looks so much bigger than the 3. So much bigger.
I mean, the hatchback is the secret sauce of this car, and actually all the storage as well. It's got the little storage in there, and you've got some more storage under here. It's just a great family car. You can let the seats down on the back on these. You can just ping that, and down they go. You can't pull them up again, but it's in so many ways the perfect car.
Oh, it's stunning. But if you can't afford a Model Y,
well, I was going to say, because it is £60,000.
Because it is £60,000. There is obviously the cheaper alternative,
Which is the one I drive.
SUV, which is the MG's.
Well, not this. I don't drive this.
But you've got one of these now,
I
haven't you?
do own an MG. My wife loves it. She adores it, and she likes it for a couple of reasons. It's the right size.
Yeah.
Okay. So because she doesn't want a Model X or a Model Y, so she likes the MGs. She cares not where it's made. I pointed out all those things. It's made by SAIC. It's Chinese.
You do get a lot for your money.
You get a lot for your money.
You do get a lot for your money.
She cares not about all of those things. It gets her where she wants to go. And more importantly, £20,000 we paid, not for this, but for our MG ZS EV, the old version, the original version.
That's now got the bigger pack. Is it 60 kilowatt hours now?
Yes, get the new MG with the bigger pack, and it's very, very good. And then
We've obviously got Stellantis behind over here. So
yes.
Basically, your Peugeot, Fiat, Vauxhall, Citroen. Have I missed any? Have I missed any Stellantis
No, I don't
brands?
think so. Jeep aren't here yet. But yeah, so many of these cars are of exactly the same specifications. So 50 kilowatt hour battery pack, 100 kilowatt motor, 100 kilowatt DC fast charging. And that, in many ways, is the super spec for the price point and what you use these cars for. It's a typical family.
And this is a stunning colour. It is one of the nicest colours.
I'm not sure I agree with you
Oh,
on that.
come on. And my wife's got one of these. This is the Corsa E. So my wife has one of these cars. She replaced the Renault Zoe with that. She said she prefers this car because she can see more of the end of the bonnet.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And then over here, VW, and again, for many people, the ID4, and the ID5 is here as well, which is the ID4, but for a bit more money with a bit less car. For many people, the ID4, especially GTX, four-wheel drive, is again, test drive this against the Model Y, against its competitors, because against the Mustang Mach-E.
Oh, you want to see it inside, Martyn? You want to come in this car?
So this summer, as of this show, the over-the-air updates haven't started yet, but the plug and charge capability arrives on these cars on the MEB platform. So just plug them into the Ionity stations, etc., and walk away.
See, this is the first time I've sat in the ID4, and these little twisty sort of knobs for the gear selection is one of my favourite ways of changing gear in a car. It's just nice and easy, right in front of you, always accessible. And the interior in this is so nice. I mean, a lot of people I know like button pressing. If you're not in the fan of the Tesla of the all minimalist stuff, you've got a few buttons in here. You've got plenty of buttons on the steering wheel, plenty of buttons on the screen to play with. It is a stunning car.
Are you taken with it?
Oh, do you know what?
Yeah.
I think I'd have one of these over a Model Y.
Would you?
Yeah.
I like them. I had a model. I've had the ID3 Life Pro. Yes, I think I had that one for a little while. I was test driving that, and again, we lived that for a month, and my wife absolutely loved it. Loved the ID3. She loved the software in it more than anything. She could just get in it and use it.
Look at this little one.
Oh, it's here! The famous football carrier is here. This had its own Twitter account that did really well.
Did it?
Yeah. Tens of thousands of followers.
I thought this car was actually made for me. It's the right size.
So a little bit big for you. And then look, the ID5 is here as well, which is the ID4 with that swoopy back cut off. So a little bit less car, a little bit more money. But hey, I think the styling of this looks absolutely stunning. I like this. It's that sportback shape like the Audi e-tron.
It's really. I also like the new Volkswagen badge, the way it sits on these cars now. The white badge with the black car, it just stands out lovely. I mean, I used to be one of these people who used to debadge cars, but you wouldn't debadge that, would you? It's beautiful.
It does look nice, actually. It does look nice. Last year, when I came to Fully Charged Live last year, I turned up in the new ID3 that I was test driving, and the test drive entrance kind of goes out there. Yeah. And as I approached the site, as it were, I kind of blended in on a roundabout with all of the test drives that were happening, and they waved me in. So when I came here last year, I ended up driving back into this bit, and I just stopped the car, just parked it and got out.
He's lying to us. What he actually did was, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? And then they waved him in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We didn't talk about the Citreon Ami, and we need to because it's over here.
We do, and it's right there.
And I still don't know if the UK pricing is out or not. But
is this not just the perfect car? If you've got a 10-mile commute, 20-mile commute, little commute, or a London city car. Imagine how many of these you could park on a street.
If you don't want to do any more than 30 miles an hour, they've locked it, and you only need two people, and you can get the cargo version of this, which doesn't have this second seat, and for pizza deliveries or inner city cargo stuff.
Do you know what they missed on this car though, don't you? They should have made the central seat pivotable, and you could have like a Johnny cab. Or
Well, it
steering
is-
wheel on both sides, and you could just, you know,
It is exactly the same both sides, as in this door swings out that way and the other door swings out the other way.
and the front and the rear panels are all the same. It's the same.
It's all
the idea
interchangeable.
of making the cheapest car
I love
possible
it.
by reusing as
I
many
love it.
parts.
And in France, you can drive them from 14, I think, because they're a quadricycle. Are they? Is that right?
I think is it 15? I thought it was
Maybe
15.
14 or 15 you can drive. Ah, they're so cool. I want one, badly. I want one.
If you're also bringing kids to Fully Charged, there is a kids fun zone over there. We've got bouncy castles, slides. So, you know, if the kids are getting a bit worked up, you're enjoying yourself at Fully Charged, but the kids are getting bored, go and leave them over there. You know, let them have some fun as well. But to be honest, as a kid, this is like my dream idea of a day out. You know,
I remember going to car stuff with my dad when I was growing up. Maybe at Excel, maybe not, maybe it was Olympia or something. And it is a great day out. It's a great family day, especially if you're into cars. And you know, little boys and girls love their motors. It's a great family thing to do. So right, we'll take you through the picnic area right now, through the family area.
Oh, and if you are watching in the picnic area and you're hungry and you've been in the queue for a while for eating and you think you're going to miss one of the talks, the outside stage has an extra screen here for watching the talks in the Giga Theatre, so you can watch the Giga Theatre talks from here with these speakers and make sure you can hear everything. What we have forgotten to show outside, Martyn, is
What, the
right
bins?
the way over here. No, right the way over here.
Okay.
We have the outside area for the trucks, vans, more industrial stuff.
So who's over here? Volta are over here?
Volta are over here, which this video is obviously already, you know, is released pretty much the second we recorded it. But if you are interested in learning more about Volta trucks, me and Martyn have a pre-recorded interview with them, which is going to be going out in a couple of weeks. Which is going to be talking all about Volta, what they're up to, being a UK company, and they've just had some news release today, haven't they, this week?
Yes. I'm trying to think about what news you're talking about. You may have to fill me in. You're about to fill me in. I don't know which news you're talking
the
about.
Volta truck, they've got some exciting news release.
Oh, so there's 7.5 tonne and the 12 tonne, I think it is, trucks, which look fantastic, and they've got massive visibility. Those are the ones with the cab at the front with basically a big glass house, so 220 degrees of vision. Right, back into the Tesla area now. They do amazing things for the Owners Club and lots of work for charity and providing those little Teslas for
They
kids
donate
as well,
a
hospitals.
lot of those little Teslas to schools. They buy them off Radio Flyer and then donate a couple to schools.
Now, you know the EVNick 5, you
Yep.
know the Kia EV6.
I do.
But do you know the GV60?
No.
Which, again, same platform, EGMP platform, so all the goodness that comes with those cars. Right-hand drive version. Genesis coming to Europe and the UK. And, you know, for many people from a standing start with the brand, but it is that step up from Hyundai and Kia. And inside, they've done a
Inside-
really lovely job. It is that little bit more premium, that little bit more luxury.
Some 90s nostalgia in here because
Go on.
we've got the Crystal Maze. It's the crystal. It's the crystal from the Crystal Maze.
But how cool is that?
That is cool. That is that is literally the crystal from the Crystal Maze.
And to get in the car, it scans that it's you. Now, obviously, the key isn't set up with me, but the scanners are somewhere around here in the door. So when you walk up to the car, you just stare at it a little bit and let me in, and the door handles present. And apparently it works really well. I've seen it working in the rain, and it's not.
Oh, so
it's not.
so no key. It's just facial recognition.
Yeah, it's somewhere around here, and it scans your beautiful face, and it says, "Come in, Nick. Come in. Welcome." And it seems to work pretty well. It's not just tech for tech's sake. Yeah. So third kind of the trilogy, if you like. I think this is a really, really interesting car, and full of great technology. More importantly, fast charging, 800 volt architecture. Yep.
Oh, wow.
I really like it. Looks really cool. Looks very
Now-
nice.
I don't know about you, Martyn, but the most exciting stuff here for me is actually in the trucks, because last mile delivery is going to be a big one for, you know, getting down, carbon levels in the UK. There is more delivery trucks on the road now than ever before. Everyone's ordering online,
Yeah.
so surely this area here is the solution.
So Volta, who we've mentioned, that massive glass house in the front of their truck, which is great because, you know, in a city we want to have more cycling, more people on bikes, and we want them to be safe. And with trucks, visibility is difficult for the drivers, and so that looks very interesting. I'd like to have a go in that.
I'd like to have a
Let
go.
me
And we've also
here.
got what whatever that is. I mean, I'm surely the UN have got an order of one of them.
Emotive. Right. Okay, we're going to find out about those a little bit later, I reckon.
That.
Some interesting stuff over here.
We've also got a Morris. We've got a Morris down here.
So talking of classic stuff down here, Nick.
Yeah.
Again, this appeals to me hugely because it's interesting and different, and we'll come and have a chat with these guys a little bit later. But just full of character and wonderful. I didn't even know the electric specs of it, but it's brilliant. Isn't it?
I mean, I believe it's all hand beaten as well. It's the old traditional methods on this one.
Wow, very cool. I don't even want to touch it. Like I don't want to touch it, but I don't want to let myself in. Very, very custom and handmade inside.
You can imagine being an artisan bakery company delivering pastries in this, couldn't you?
Pastries. Oh. Let's look at bikes over here. This looks interesting. And scooters and personal mobility. Now, we're still no closer to having scooters legalised. They're working things out. Do you have to have a driving licence or not, etc., etc. But there is definitely a reason to get that done as soon as possible, because personal mobility done electrically is going to be really important to get people out of cars for short journeys.
Well, it's not just short journeys, it's also the embedded CO2. So if someone can get away with using a bike instead of buying a car, it's the embedded CO2 is a lot less in a bike. So you've obviously got bikes, we've got one-wheelers, we've got scooters, and there's a test track area out here where you can actually have a go on some of the equipment and see what it's like.
Someone's having a go already. Hey, look at this little one. It's a little Nick-sized one.
Oh, here we go. He's always picking on me for my size.
And yeah, it's great to see some test rides here as well. E-bike's not the cheapest things in the world, actually, to buy sometimes, or even do your own conversion. That can still be expensive.
Well, talking about conversion, that's what Switchbike do. So they do conversions on pretty much any bike. You just basically buy a kit, you put it to your existing bike, and you turn it electric.
I love it. Very cool. Well, that's the outside area, Nick. So much seen already, but there's almost as much indoors.
There's actually more inside. Let's go and have a look. So, Mike, let's head inside. Let's actually see what's inside the building.
And a lot more inside this year, actually. Well, I mean, I'd say last year, strange times we were in, so everything was outside. Let's work our way around. And up you.
Oh, Martyn's part of the queue now. Martyn's now is being slowed down by the queue.
So
we're moving in. The building last year wasn't used inside. We didn't actually get to see any of this hall, but now we are actually here. And you know how we said Renault weren't here?
Yes.
Well, there is a Renault here, and weirdly it's in bits.
That's unfortunate.
Which is its natural state. This is a Renault Zoe in its natural state.
There's a chap underneath here as well. Look, it's all fallen out from the bottom. This never happened to the two Renault Zoes that I owned.
Oh, right. Well, you didn't own enough Renault Zoes.
I must have been lucky. They fall apart, do they? Now, I think what's really interesting in here is that not only how big it is this year, but there's so much focus on things like energy, storage, generation. So I've got my solar panels on the roof, and I got this. And I've got the Solar Edge battery in the garage as well. So I don't know which way to go. I'm just looking around and wondering where we should go.
You've got Mixergy here.
The Mixergy one.
The
Mixergy. A lot about the Mixergy tanks.
It stores power. It basically stores heat. Could you just quickly tell us what the Mixergy does?
It's a connected hot water tank, so it could be connected with a gas boiler or an oil boiler. Increasingly now it's about heat pumps, air source or ground source heat pumps, and also optimizing solar PV, solar thermal by using solar energy that's generated during the day to heat your hot water.
So what makes it different to a traditional storage tank?
Yeah, so a couple of things. Firstly, on the inside, most conventional hot water tanks work like a kettle. So they heat the whole of the tank regardless of how much hot water you need. With a Mixergy tank, we heat from the top down, which means you can measure really accurately how much water that family needs in that household and measure and control that, just heating what you need. So that's what's happening in the tank. Outside the tank, there's basically a computer that sits on the side that gives you that control. So you can control it through your app. You can control your hot water, you can schedule it. There's machine learning that will understand what your hot water needs are in your household on particular days of the week, that can optimize the use of renewables like solar at certain times, that can get into cheap off-peak tariffs, at time of use tariffs. So if electricity is cheap at night, why not heat your water then rather than during the day? So there's a whole load of stuff on the inside that makes it more efficient, and on the outside that makes it really clever.
All right, thank you very much. So moving over here, we've got a whole host of companies with chargers. Now, this is Indra. I've done many things with Indra.
So this is the vehicle to grid, the CHAdeMO
vehicle to grid system. They do vehicle to grid for a Nissan Leaf, CHAdeMO. They have standard AC chargers. We've also got over here, we've got My Energy, and
Wow.
My Energy have a little treat on their stand, Martin. I
What's
don't know.
the treats?
Well, I think it's on their stand because I saw a picture of it, and I don't think, no, it's not actually here, but they have got a very, very, very interesting stand. Should we take a seat? Should we take a seat on one of these?
I saw this last year, and it was outside. Look, it's like I've taken my little one to the swings.
Daddy, push me again.
Do you want to go higher?
Yes,
Do you want
please.
to go higher?
Oh, yes, please.
So, this is huge. This is much bigger than I realised. So, we're going to walk this way and kind of go down and around a little bit.
You got your favourite charger there, Kempower.
Oh, no, I love these. I love these so much. This makes such a lot of sense. So, you get the kind of small stand, if you like, and then all of the hardware, the brawns, if you like, are done in the cabinets at the back.
And also, look at this.
Yeah, that's pretty
The
cool.
length of that
I love
cable.
these. I love this. I love all of the Kempower stuff. You can use that in the UK with Osprey.
And we did a small interview with Ian
Yes,
on our
absolutely.
channels.
And they're being used by Mør in Norway as well. And so in the cabinets at the back, the units are 40 kilowatts a unit, and then they just stack them. So if a car turns up that wants, it'll assign 4 of those units to it, whereas a slower car would only get 2. It's really flexible, really, really interesting.
And if it is raining outside, there is an indoor test track for some of the bikes in here.
Yeah,
so
this
don't
is
worry,
really cool.
if it is raining, there is, like I said, inside stuff this year. Martin's walked past the, this is a new charger that's been launched. The guy who runs this company used to run ChargeMaster. He's the creative ChargeMaster. So they've got the Porsche Taycan on their stand. This was the first one I've seen at the show so far, that to me is that Porsche are outselling them more than any other car, I think, at the moment.
This is new to me, so for someone that tries to stay in touch with EV world, this is all new, so I'll come back and have a look at this. I like this. I worry that how durable. I'm sure it is.
It's just launched. They've just come out with it.
You are Mr. Charger, so
I'm Mr. Charger.
So you would know. Mazda MX-30 on the Scottish Power stand here. This has a very small battery and a very small range, but
one of your good friends actually posted this on Twitter and someone bought one.
it wouldn't be for me. But if you do small mileage and you like the styling, and it does look cool, then
it does. And I suppose if you're only driving to the shops and back, the range is perfect.
Absolutely. So behind us, let's walk over here a little bit because we have one of the big sponsors, which is LV, and they have their ElectriX brand, which is new, big sponsor of the event here.
I've just done a little article about them, talking about how to buy used cars.
Right.
So they're interested in trying to educate the public to electric cars, get people to know more, and they're really investing on making sure that people understand what they're buying, which is amazing to do. They're only an insurance company. It's not really an area they need to concentrate on, but they're really big on it.
It is. They need to take their customers along on that journey, like all companies. Whether you're a recovery company or an insurance company or a repair company, you do need to bring people along on that electric journey. So that's interesting that LV are kind of doing their whole big thing. InstaVolt here as well. I'm seeing more and more of these go up at places like McDonald's, takeaways and stuff like that. And I just love these units.
And that's
very cool.
clearly telling you what Martin's diet is during the week.
How dare you? I tell my wife that I don't go to those places.
Martin, I don't know where you're going because the car that we really want to see is over here.
Hello, Jill. Hello.
So we got the IDBuzz.
Oh, we're not allowed near it. So we can ask nicely if we can get any closer.
I'm sure we can maybe just sneak a little passage into the car. Let's just ask.
This may be one of the first times that it's seen in the UK. We can check. We can ask. Now I know that the CEO Herbert Diess was at South by Southwest.
Yes.
With the vehicle, but this may be. We'll find someone to ask. The first time that we see this in the UK. Man, it's the first time I've seen it up close and personal. I didn't do the Milton Keynes covered drive.
It's the first time. It's the first time. Well, it's the first time I've got to touch it. I saw it the first time at Frankfurt when it was just a concept back then. But this is actually the first physical touching of it.
This is when you see it in person. Trying to kind of compare the shots that I've seen on online. to actually seeing it in person. I'm really excited about getting up and close and personal with this vehicle. Left-hand drive still on this, but yeah, I think you do need to see one for it to make a lot more sense.
I mean, what I really can't wait for is when they bring out a California camper van version of this. That's the holy grail, isn't it?
So at the minute, 77 kilowatt hour battery pack on this short wheelbase version. The US version will be the hopefully you think bigger. It's going to be the long wheelbase, but you would think the bigger battery pack, 111 kilowatt hours, possibly. I don't know. That's not confirmed. But when you see how practical this is going to be for family life.
Practical camper van, and also the chance of obviously being a delivery vehicle as well, van versions of it.
I find this really interesting.
And we've obviously still got
materials are nice as
well.
well.
We've still got the central rail system in here by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to take out seats, add extra seats to it. It's just such a versatile vehicle shape, the way they've got it, and the styling on it. For me, I saw some of the pictures with it all sort of covered up, and I thought they were going to lose that concept look to it, but it's still got it. I think it's still got it.
It's great in person. I think I want one, Nick. I think I really want one. I think I need one. These are going to sell as many as they can make of these every day of the week. Just they're going to be so popular. It's just a ton of space in the back as well. Man, I'm absolutely loving this rear space.
I mean, Martyn, the most important thing is, can it tow your yacht?
Hey, I told you. I live in Poole, but I don't have a yacht. Honestly, believe me. Really cool.
I mean, if you're not aware, Martyn lives, next to the yacht club, with all the football players. What's that famous football player manager that lives near you?
Harry Redknapp.
Harry Redknapp. That's it. So, Martyn and Harry are best of mates at the moment.
We do go to the same co-op.
Yeah, and you're telling me Harry Redknapp. Sorry, you're telling me you shop at the co-op.
We do go in the same co-op because he has. I won't say what he drives. He has a very nice Range Rover, I think. Let's head over here a little bit and just check out the final bits of these stands before we work our way along. EVA England, so the Electric Vehicle Association, is an advocacy group of members pushing electric vehicles forward.
Yeah, and you can sign up membership. I believe they'll be giving away some sort of free membership at the show today. So if you are looking to support sort of like the campaign, the political part of the electric car, I mean, there still has to be some government pressure to make sure they stick to the 2030 target, and other things like infrastructure going in and grants.
Wow, okay.
Do you think the grant's going to go away this year for the electric vehicles in the UK?
Bound to, isn't it? It's down to 1,500 quid now. It's bound to go down, I would say. Do we need it? I mean, cars are 6 or 9 months away. So if you want a brand new Audi, it's a year away. I mean, not more.
I think a new system should come out, maybe a loan system for helping people, afford one rather than a grant. That would make more sense to me.
I think Scotland get it right. So Scotland have the interest-free loans. I think that's probably the right way. If you're going to spend public money, it's a big debate. That's probably a good way to do it. Let's head down here because we've got some more Kempower stuff over here, which is interesting. It's Osprey. So we've spoken to Ian. Where have you gone?
I'm here.
We've spoken to Ian at Osprey before. They're using the Kempower technology as well. They have a philosophy at Osprey about having CHAdeMO chargers.
Well, they also have a philosophy of not being one tech. They always fit different companies' chargers, so they're not locked into just using Kempower. They use a selection of different charge companies, and they say they tailor that to depending on the site. Yeah. So some sites may need AC and some sites may not.
And Ian, we've spoken to Ian before, and Ian says, look, we talk about CHAdeMO and so many Nissan Leafs as well still on the roads. And Ian says, morning, how you doing, Ian? We're talking about your philosophy being good, that you want to charge as many cars as possible. It's your business to charge cars. It's about CHAdeMO, and you put CHAdeMO connections on your chargers because there's Leafs out there, and there'll be a time when maybe you do that less, but for now you still want to serve those cars.
I think for now there's tens of thousands of vehicles out there that need to charge, and our job is to charge them. So we've got to watch the market as it changes, and if you look at new registrations, it's shifting quite quickly. But no, we're there to serve the masses, so that's the focus.
How's the Kempower technology working out?
That's amazing. Yeah, it's great. I had the pleasure to have a genuine charging experience when I was in Need last week, and it was just perfect. Worked great. And what I love is on the hubs, walking around and talking to other customers there, and I mean, just the feedback's brilliant. So it's the challenge is keeping up with the demand to get these things out now, because people are just like, please, we want more Kempower, we want more hubs, we want more Kempower, we want more Osprey. So yeah, that's the focus. But yeah, I love it, and the feedback's amazing. So
and the app on the Kempower system it's so cool.
For nerds,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like
I mean,
us.
we're all nerds.
Oh,
Most
a little
of us
bit.
are nerds.
All right, Ian, thank you so much.
Cheers,
Have a good
Ian.
show. Take care. Let's wander over here. We'll go through. What Zap? I should know what Zaptec is. I've seen
Zaptec is
the
a
name.
charger. So Zaptec is basically just an EV charger. It's one I've not actually reviewed.
Okay, well there
So
you go.
they are.
That's the only one.
They're a Norwegian company
that you've
now,
not reviewed.
We all would like solar on our house, but some of us can't get solar. So if we can't get solar, how about we own a wind farm?
Well, that would be very cool to actually own your own wind turbine. Now, I've heard the real ones are a bit bigger.
No, this is
Oh,
to
just the way-
scale. This is to scale. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, to me, that's massive.
Oh, someone's on the big speaker.
But we did an interview with Sarah from Ripple, who's the CEO of Ripple.
Yeah.
What Ripple actually do is they build wind turbines on a co-op invested system. So you invest some money,
Yes.
and you own part of a wind turbine, and part of owning that turbine, they then credit your bill on Octopus with the amount your electricity generated. So
Yeah.
you could get paid, at the moment with electricity prices, my return is more than I was expecting. So my payback on the Ripple turbine is going to be 15 years.
Wow, that's interesting. Ovo here, sponsoring the Home Energy advice team, and it's a really big part of Fully Charged these days. And we talk to more and more people about electric cars, and they're more and more interested in, like the things we've talked about, home storage, energy, all those things which are part of owning an electric vehicle. You don't have to, of course, you should own an EV if you want, but people really get into the stuff surrounding it. I never really knew what a kilowatt hour was before I got an EV.
And these are real experts here at OVO as well. They're not just OVO staff. So that guy there, that's Dean. That's one of my actual friends who is in the energy industry. He understands heat pumps. He understands solar, and he's here just as part of the OVO team to discuss all the tech. So they've got as many proper experts in as they can to talk about everything here.
National Grid have been working on electrification of mobility for years.
Who are National?
I've
never heard of them.
So whenever you get those comments online, I see almost on a daily basis, which is, I think you'll find when we all drive EVs, the grid's going to collapse. These guys and girls have been working on it forever, and the grid's going to be fine. In fact, EVs help the grid, and it's good to see them here to talk to people about that, because it's a common thing, isn't it? The grid's going to collapse.
It's a common myth, but they're also going to be here to discuss, with people, talk about things, way of being greener as well. There's different ways of using your power that can help the grid. We've got obviously Eon behind over here. I mean, we've got pretty much.
We've seen more and more energy companies turning up to events like this.
I've noticed that pretty much. I think every single energy company's here this year.
This show is sponsored by Kempower.
I've never seen so many Kempower units.
This is the third Kempower. This is, I think,
This is
actually Kempower.
Look, have you seen this one? So this is like a mobile charging unit.
And I'm pretty sure that I saw this at Extreme E. So the Extreme E off-road series.
Yeah.
I saw, if not this, something like this. Did I see this Extreme E?
Yeah, it is.
I was in the pits and the garages, and it was branded Kempower, and the off-road racing series.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We have a lot of famous, because we're from Finland.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of famous. Marcus Gronholm is one of them. He's a very famous Extreme E rally driver. Yeah. So we did that with them. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Martin. So
yes.
what we've got over here is the first. We're at an airport.
Yes.
So what do you need at an airport? You need an electric plane.
Well, you do really. Now, unthinkable for an EV event a few years ago to have all the energy companies here and a light aircraft here. But that's how big this is getting now.
But not just a light aircraft, a fully electric aircraft.
I love this. I had no idea this was going to be here. This is modern day James Bond, right? Because James Bond should go electric. Because he cares about his carbon footprint as well as killing baddies.
Surely as a spy plane, you can't hear the engine. It's the best thing possible.
It's tiny. I think I would need to perhaps lose a few COVID kilos, if I'm being kind to myself. It's a tight squeeze, but
It's not very big. There was actually a video of Robert flying in with this on the promotional video that was released on Fully Charged before it went out, and he actually took a test flight in it.
look, you got little car mats in here. Oh, no, sorry, plane mats.
Do you think they've been customised for the plane?
I think it's very cool. I think I'd like to have a go in that as soon
There's
as
also
possible.
over here. There's a little bit of fun. You can have a little race in a little car over here with some free screens. Have a bit of fun. I think our cameraman is overjoyed with coming on this later. We'll see how bad he is at driving.
And it's a really interesting topic to talk about cables and accessories, what with Elon Musk recently saying we need to bundle cables anymore. But he's not the first, because new EVs haven't come with cables for a long time.
Well,
But he got all the heat for it.
We're talking about heat. We won't talk about what happens with a granny cable when you use it for
This is
several
your
hours.
hot topic.
It's
You love talking about a granny
I love talking
cable, don't
about
you?
granny cables.
This-
We got onto here, which is a different way of leasing or renting a car.
It's kind of rental, it's kind of ownership, because you have it for a month at a time, and they've wrapped this one in Onto green. And Onto have in the last few years, I think, just kind of exploded in terms of how many cars you can get from them. And I've had some Onto cars over the last couple of years during lockdown, and it's been really, really good for us.
Yeah, so it's a fully packaged. So you pay one price, it includes your insurance, includes all your
That
maintenance.
was the handy thing about it.
I mean, what's quite good is if you want to test a couple of EVs, you want to try a multiple number of EVs before you decide what you're buying.
Yeah.
It gives you that rental, rental model.
And it always looks so cool. The stands that they have, and it's a great model. So check out Onto and see what they do.
We got down here. We've also got Electric Juice, by the way. So Electric
So
Juice.
Octopus Energy. So again, another energy company.
Have you? I've never heard of them though. Are they big? Are they big?
They may or may not be a sponsor of EV News Daily. So Octopus Electric Juice with one map, one app, one card. I have my card in the dashboard, and it puts the charging of my car onto my home electricity bill. So it just works really well.
And they've also made Clementine a little bit cuter. Actually, they've changed the design of Clementine. It's cuter now.
Clementine's smaller.
It's smaller and cuter.
My little lad has old Clementine, the OG Clementine. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. Last couple of stands we'll have a look at. Give Energy are here, and I've gone with the Solar Edge stuff, Solar Edge inverter, Solar Edge battery, 10 kilowatt battery in my garage. But the Give Energy stuff, the Give Energy stuff is really interesting as well. So have a look at this and cross shop and come and talk to them. And your friends Ohme are behind here as well.
I mean, Ohme for me is one of the best chargers I've reviewed. It's one of my favourite ones. It's actually
Why though? Because I've never used Ohme personally.
The old Ohme cable was great when I was on Agile, but I mean, no one's on Agile at the moment, especially with the current prices. But the idea of the screen, you can just basically, rather than just using the app. I mean, some people hate apps. My parents, for example, they could not use the app, so they could just plug in. I could set the app up free, and then they could select how much they want to charge on the screen. They don't actually need to use the app. They can see how much it's charged, how much it's added, what the target price is if you set it. If they're on Octopus Go, for example, it's one of the best ways of sort of doing it.
I was having a look at EV tariffs recently, and another one from OVO. They do an overnight tariff, and again, you need to have a certain specific charger. And it's the Ohme.
Yeah.
So it works with either their API or their smart stuff, and you tell it how many miles you want by the time you leave in the morning, and it'll work out when to charge the car and things like that. Right, it looks like we've got to the end of the indoor area. They're already advertising Fully Charged 2023. They're going to be going to Sydney, Amsterdam, Farnborough, not quite the same, Sydney, Amsterdam, Farnborough, Harrogate, San Diego, and Vancouver. It just gets bigger and bigger every year. I think we've come to the end of our little tour of the inside, and we end up at the indoor lit up tree. So very, very, very cool to have a look around here. I think that's it. We've come to the end. We've come to the end.
Yeah, we have. And
that's your lot.
It's definitely a lot bigger than ever before.
Well,
it's
this is very nice. Do you think I can take a pew? Take a pew down here?
Well, I don't know about you. I mean, we've covered. I think we've covered about 80% of the show. There's still plenty more to see. There's a lot more to do here. There's so much. I mean, we didn't even mention the heat pump. We walked straight past the heat pumps. There is every single form of renewable or low carbon technology here. And I think if you've not got tickets yet, go over to Fully Charged Live. There's a link down below for the tickets. They're still for sale for Saturday and Sunday. And I'd come down here. If you want to learn, you want to drive an EV, it's perfect.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon.
Goodbye. Daddy, you pushed me again.